Welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being here with me. I have a Metatron read for you again, some really profound messages coming through today, and the read for you on the table. We're going to roll the die first. For the twin flames, today is the 5th of March 2022. The 5 is the Hierophant. It's also freedom, expansion, and communication. And the day adds up to 14, which is also a 5, which is the Temperance card, which is all about patience and balance and being in that angelic high vibe energy. So for the twins, what do the die have to say for us today? Okay, and by the way, we started at 5:33 on the clock, which is 5 again with the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself without getting defensive or getting triggered, or at least reacting to that trigger. This is Venus. So Venus is Taurus and Libra, and then we have Cancer energy here as well. That 69 energy is also the Ace of Pentacles, which is that offering of a new start, time, money, and effort being given. And then the 10 of that high vibration of the Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune, which is also October and Libra, and also going into Scorpio there. So mainly though, Libra, Cancer, and then Libra again with Taurus. So there's a lot of cardinal energy there between Cancer and Libra. And then Taurus is fixed. But again, it's that Venus energy, not necessarily Taurus. So it's that Venus energy of love, and however Venus is aspecting right now, I know there's some major aspects that are really positive right now for love going through March into April. So Venus coming up regarding that. And then again, the Cancer of home and family, that mothering energy around the home, and that 10 of that high vibration, and the balance and the Justice card basically of Libra with truth and balance. And seeking that balance. So every time you expand outside of yourself, to remember to come back to the heart in the present moment. Okay. So the Metatron read we're going to do first, and then the read on the table. So here is the read. This was a big one today. A lot of extra cards came out. This is the Metatron read. So here's the underlying energy. This is the bottom of the deck, and these cards below that. So the underlying energy being this card as the main underlying energy. I start here with the first card out, across, like this, and then these 3, and then these 4, and then these. This is like a PS, kind of an addendum energy that came out, which actually came out really cool today. So, yeah. And the colors were red, green, and yellow, so very Christmassy. Is that the Italian flag too? I don't know why I'm getting the Italian flag, but that was just coming up too. Who else is green, red, and yellow? There's a lot of flags with green, red, and yellow, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But you can comment below if you think of someone right off the bat. So with this energy, with the Hierophant today, with the number 5, and the Temperance card. So all about the establishment, societal norms, guidance, the temperance and patience and taking one step at a time off that beaten path, off the normal path. It's kind of the alternative ways versus the new way of being. That's what I'm getting. But they're both 5s about change and expansion and freedom. So I started this Metatron deal at 12:49 to 50, which is the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 49 to 50, which is the 9 and 10 of Cups, which is that emotional fulfillment, whether you're single or as a family. And the underlying card was the Clarity card of meditating showering yourself in that white purification light to clarify when you need to go in to deal with the shadow and see what needs to come up. And then the first card out was the detached card again of the King of Cups, which came up yesterday as well, the 37. And like I said, the colors came out red, green, yellow, white as well in the PS section of the cards. And again, so the root chakra to the white of the crown, basically, because white and that light violet energy is basically one and the same of the rainbow. And so the root chakra to the green of the heart and the yellow of the solar plexus. Really focusing on purifying those energies today. Okay, so the root chakra, the solar plexus, and the heart. And as far as the elements, the air elements and the earth came up today. So earth, wind, and fire was just coming up as well. So we'll see about the fire energy, how much fire. There was a bit of fire coming up in the read. I think mostly that had to do with children's energies. So, and maybe earth, wind, and fire is just coming up as music, and I'm losing my voice. What's missing? Earth, wind, and fire is then water, of course, which don't forget to drink your water. And that's why they're reminding me to tell you something that I forgot. So water, of course it's important to drink water. We talk about that all the time. But I had a very small leak in my toilet, right? So the pump was going off like every 30 minutes and I didn't know what it was, and it was happening ever since I had my water heater replaced. But again, there's that energy of water leaking, which has to do with abundance as well. So I have it fixed, and now the pump was it wasn't keeping me awake at night, but it would startle me at times, which means it had to have been startling my sleep a little bit. And so now that it's not there anymore, boy, did I sleep well last night and the night before. So again, it's reminding us not to delay fixing things. When you know there's something wrong, and that came up yesterday too, right? A stitch in time saves 9. Right? Do it before it causes more problems. But again, reminding us about the water is about abundance energy. So remember how important it is to drink it, to shower and bathe in it, to even stand in it, because we've heard about, standing in mud in order to actually really connect and be able to light up a light bulb, which would be really cool to be able to do that. So I guess it's a reminder not to forget how truly important water is in our lives. And that has to do with our emotions, right? And having those positive emotions from our positive thoughts, creating those positive emotions. So we don't want to control our environment. We want to control our perspective, our thoughts. Because our thoughts feed everything. They feed our emotions and our outer world as well. So as I just flipped my hair, because I just took a shower, and I don't know if you saw the drops kind of fling over the screen there, but I saw them. So the underlying energy here, I started out with 1255, which is the Hanging Man, and the Truth, the Ace of Swords. So healing by pausing and coming together in joy. Perhaps allowing yourself some healing. Perhaps imagine that magnet above you to take all that stuff out of your field that doesn't belong to you, the stuff that doesn't serve you. And then allow those healing hands of Archangel Sandalphon to come and heal you as well. Take that time out to just close your eyes and allow someone else to take care of you, or another energy to take care of you. Then cubits of ice were coming up in the purple moon as grounding and support. The 0-point field, frozen in time, soon releases the plants to sprout up. And there is the moon and the shadow coming up in a different way, because normally you think of them as negative, right? Because it's not fully illuminated, and then there's the shadow energy as well there. And the moon is the shadowing of the sun, right? But the moon and the shadow today were coming up regarding the forces of romance with that Venus aspect this month. So just like you require healing, So does the earth, Terra, Gaia. Shower yourself with white purifying light to go within to clarify the shadow that needs to come up. The first card out today was the King of Cups, detaching from drama in order to look up from the bubble as the Page of Cups is evolving and birthing the new, the young ones. The communication, that can be your inner child or your actual child. Communicate and speak up. It's all about freedom of speech here. The hollow instrument that you are needs to be heard. From land to sea to sky to I am, the King of Cups and the Page of Cups. Unconditional love and that pure innocent love, free to expand. As the twin flames are untying the karmic knots, or the shoulds and the should nots of two diamonds in the sky, as the Vesica Pisces in diamond form, the overlap and how things get tangled. Think of how that thin chain and how you, if you don't hang it just right, it sits in a pile and gets tangled up tight. Aligning so each has their own designated space, only coming together when choosing to do so, not by obligation. The mother and child, the father and child, hear and know me, tell me what's weighing on you today. Before going out in the world, from orange to gold, from creation to consciousness, at 114, the Magician and the 14 of the Temperance card, in leading the way and answering the call with regular clearing with flame in hand. Up those 8 golden steps to dance with your beloved through the golden gate, the Christ consciousness, by invitation only, with access through the aqua rose gold heart of infinite patterning of plaids and stripes and florals and solids. At 117 of the Magician and the Stars, or that love relationship, the love relationships in harmony. The heart to the gate with the carpenter bee pollinating buttercup yellow and reflecting under their chinny chin chin, where she huffs and she puffs and she blows your house down until you come out wherever you are. The magic pollen, the key to authentic self. Who are you? And there's that are you again for Russia. And the child of the rose line and the carpenter. The 46 of the inner children who love each other. Go with the flow on the whispering bench, one-to-one time, a private conversation, or the H of the 1-1 of DNA, which then becomes the 8 in 5D of the 8 masculine feminine dance. Or if you knock the H over on its side, it becomes the I DNA in infinite of the 8 on its side dance. On the whispering bench with sign waves or language without words. Show me a sign, but do you trust that sign once it's given? The message on the wall, the greatest love of all, inside of you, too. Joined at the base and grew up apart, only to trickle back down, back to where you once started from. Instead of growing up together and drifting apart, you get to grow up apart and drift back together after learning all your own lessons, free and clear. 2 strong families sprouting little ones in 6 degrees of separation who reach out and touch someone. At 128, the Magician and the twins are that choice of path. Only they have the key to bring their parents back together again, as true expressions of each other, as in your children, are you, expressions of you exactly, and collapsing all the timelines at once. As the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth and codependency, and the King of Wands in duality and lack of balance here, individual balance and family balance leads to world peace and harmony at 132, the Magician and the Journey, where the diamond light breaks through the air and the plasma ethers, the angelic bright light and the pinpoint precision of laser focus within, flying free in transition from air to ether with plasma wings. These are a few of my favorite things. At 133, the Magician and the Christ consciousness, or standing up for yourself. When the dogs bite and when the bees sting and when I'm feeling sad at 34, which is that energetic exchange, I simply remember my favorite things and then I don't feel so bad. Brown paper packages tied up in string, these are a few of my favorite things. The wake-up call to listen and note or tone, calling all angels to gift and bestow, the roll call, the dinner call, all ancestors come home. From physical birth to the collective awakening and rebirth at 138, the Magician and the Queen of Cups, you are the awakened, the awakeners, and the collective awakening, with Terra to Gaia as beacon of light, grounding, integrating, and mastering at that Y in the road, which is that Jimmy, jump there. GIM, Y, of grounding and integrating and mastering of the receiving of love and giving back to your ancestors by clearing their debts. Aligning an energetic exchange with Big Bird transition to the B of 13 in Big Bird, BIG, and B as 13, IRD. Big Bird transitioning, which is the Queen of Swords, to I, God, and I, the road less traveled, with diamond wings of the King of Swords and their purity and innocence, and Metatron's magnetic rainbow service of inspiration, the mirage of that oily spin of plasma ether, without diamond light, or with the diamond light combined, and with the air that we breathe at 143, which is the Magician and the Three of Cups of joy and coming together, of Big Bird, Queen of Swords, with two golden wings, or two X's, or chromosomes, trying angles, in that triangle between golden means. Two X's are the building blocks for life, as the King of Swords with only one X of purity, and Metatron's Y in the road in multiple arcs that lead home. The wings are two U's in one half or inside, in anointing each other, and infinite arcs of rainbows. No ahs or Noahs about it. As air to ether, like wind to wing, the air and the wind. The air is the wind beneath the ether bright light that's laser sharp. The angel wing supported by the arc of the 2x72, which is that rainbow bridge, marching over it until it's healed into place, where the numbers peaking until the collective majority is overwhelming, and the eyes have it. The 144 awakening to 1,000 suns, forging a new tunnel in the Einstein-Rosen bridge Tesla style, with pi to phi to T for Tesla, a stent of 12 strands of DNA in the making, using pi and phi and 36912 and the 13th sign of Ophiuchus in transition, which Ophiuchus comes out as the serpent handler, or holding the snake, the human embodiment of source expanding and contracting, or reflecting instead, the spaceship without Jesus, or multiple ears and eyes or highs and informants of handlers, and multiple universes and multiple reigns, or the deluge, the flood, the overwhelm, or you who cuss a lot. Several islands without say, more and more, the USA and Greenland island that's not an island at all, that doesn't belong to them, a brittle star without ray, who wants more and cusses, or the human reflection of the number 3, the heart without the V of creation, or the heart without being less than. The quantum leap of pi to phi to T style, which is the pine cone, the rose, and the lotus, who survives in the water without the earth, fed by emotions of pure bliss and rocketing to the stars. The PRL of the pine cone, the rose, and the lotus, which PRL stands for the Polish People's Republic, who a lot of them were killed or starved to death. And it also stands for prolactin, which literally means before the milk comes in, the hormone from the pituitary gland that stimulates the growth of the mammary glands. The lactins are lactose, or sugar, or perhaps for sweets. And then it was very interesting because not just the letters PRL came up, for pine cone, roses, and lotus, but ERT came up for Einstein, Rosen, and Tesla. And if you line them up, you see that PRL and ERT, pine cone is 8 letters, and so is Einstein. Roses is 5 letters, just like Rosen, and they're both rose. And then L for lotus is 5 letters, like Tesla. So they both come out to 855. So of course I had to look up 855 in the gematria. And by the way, ET was also coming up with Einstein, Tesla, which references the pi and the phi together, which is ET. So PPT came up, which is pi, phi, and Tesla, which means parts per trillion, or that has to do with 3 again, or PowerPoint, or precipitation, presenting through a slideshow. The precipitation that allows you to ski or fall down without hurting yourself, or in other words, the 0-point field of PPT. Then ERT of Einstein, Rosen, and Tesla, to provoke, tease, or sharp point, or stinger, to irritate, taunt, point, end point, or arrowhead, to encourage or urge on, or grill or hurry, to argue, to strive onward and upward. You are, art, heart, and a P. And then I looked up the number 855 from gematria at 243, which is the high priestess and the 3 of cups of coming together. And the first entry in the gematria for 855 was 3 zodiacs, 12/7, 1976, which for me was very interesting because I've gotten downloads before that God's birthday is 12/7 and 12/13, which would make sense because that's a week, right? So 12/7 was coming up here, and 1976, which of course, as you well know, is the birth year of the United States. Well, that's the bicentennial 19, but 76 is the birth year. So what did 3 zodiacs? I don't know if that was referencing something specific. I'm not familiar with what that means. If that means something to someone, let me know. But 3 zodiacs, 12/7, 1976, with 12/7, because I always get God as Saggy, and the 7 and 13 always come up for me. And that day, the other listings under 3 zodiacs, 12/7, and 76 came up, were Study God, Anunnaki Returned, Vote, Virginia, Your Effect, Lover, Anxiety, The Resurrection, the letters A through P, Marjorie, which is very close to majority, which I found very interesting, and then personality, as well as the Keshvan, the month on the Jewish calendar, which I don't know much about at all, but I looked it up, and a lot of interesting stuff came up for that. So the personality, and is it Cheshvan or Keshvan? I'm not sure. But lavender, the eye of God, and celebrities all came up, and celebrities was the 15th entry. So I went to look back at the Jewish month, and it's also called Markashvan, which is the 2nd month of the civil year and the 8th month of the ecclesiastical year on the Hebrew calendar. Usually it's 29 days, but because of Rosh Hashanah, there's postponement rules there. So some years add another day. So Yirak book comes up here from Kings 1, chapter 6, 38, regarding the Mabul, or the flood, since according to Midrash, more rain falls in this month, since it marks the beginning of the great flood during the time of Noah. And Mar, M-A-R, means bitter, the time of suffering throughout the ages. And the 7th day of this month in Israel, they request the rain. And if there was no rain in Israel at that time, the 7th day, they considered that a drought, that it was feared. And then they would go into the ritual fasting and the prayer would begin. The 27th is like a small-scale Yom Kippur fasting day. And this was all coming up from OU.org. So the day 12/7/1976, of course, I looked it up. And of course, it was a leap year. The favorite names that year were Michael and Amy. And the other favorites, well, it was a Tuesday in Sagittarius. The president was Ford. It was a dragon year in Gen X. And Pope St. Paul VI was in office, so to speak. And The songs that came up were Tonight's the Night by Rod Stewart, and Under the Moon of Love was in the UK. And The Eagles Have Landed was the movie. How cool is that? Because that literally, I searched that movie when The Eagle Has Landed came up for me specifically a couple months ago. And then the game came up, Colossal Cave Adventure, and the book, Erroneous Zone. Okay, so that was 12/7/76. And then back to the month. So Nisan in the Hebrew calendar is considered spring, and Tishrei is the fall. And so it's considered the 8th month from Nisan, which would be starting in March. October is when it would normally start. And then the 2nd month from Tishrei, which is Libra energy, or more September to October. So it leads the winter, going from October to November, and it's considered Scorpio, and this was coming up from CHA, bad.org. And the Great Flood began the 17th on the 600th year of Noah's life. Just the sheer volume of the water and the hot springs rose from earth as well as being supernatural. So after more than a year on the ark, Noah and the animals exited on the 27th day of that month. And that month is also associated with the number 7 as being sacred and secret and all that. So outside Israel, they began prayers early December when the rain began to fall in Babylon, I think that was. And again, October 2022, the month begins on October 26th. And Noah is listed on the 29th of that month. Noach is spelled Noach on the Hebrew calendar. And then the 24th, the 24th of November is the 8th month from March. I'm sorry, it ends on the 24th of November. So that month of the flood this year starts on October 26, 22, and ends on the 24th of November. The days are, so the 7th day would be a Thursday, and that's November 2nd. The 17th day, which would be the first day of the flood, would be November 12th, which is a Saturday, right, and the Sabbath. And then the exit day of Noah and the animals would be November 22nd this year of the ark. So I'm like, okay, so what is this leading up to? So then the Ides of March came up again because it was 315, and that's the Ides of March, which is Julius's assassination. And I think it was an old tax day that day as well. So then at 318, which actually is my half birthday, which is 3 of the Empress and the 18 of the Moon, the 315 is also the day after Pi Day of 314. And then Phi came up also of 1.618, which comes up as January 6th. And then Tesla is the 36912, which has to do with the 21st of each quarter. March 21st, June 21st, September, and December 21st. Okay? So then my next door, somebody showed up next door and they were playing their music really loud as the friends arrive. And then the 17th I had written down as the day that the flood happened, the 17th day of that month, which I told you was coming up this year as Saturday, November 12th. That's the 17th day. So as soon as I wrote down 17th as the day of the flood, and that 17th was missing from Phi, which is 1.618, and that came up before last week, where 1.618 is 16 and 18, but 17 is missing. And then here is the 17th day of the flood. And then I was getting all aboard to get on the ark, the 4D Terra Abundant Awakening from the 3D Earth. The quantum leap is on the ark. So again, everything is always in metaphor. They're not literal. So even Noah's Ark is referencing an ark, which now we're finding all these arks on the bottom of the ocean floor in Russia and the Bermuda Triangle, and now the one in Ukraine, which is why Russia's in there trying to get the ark. So we have all these arcs, but also the arc is the arc of light that the rainbow is, because white equals all the colors of the rainbow. And we're literally, the flood is us transitioning from the old earth into the 4D earth, okay? That the earth is literally our arc. And at 3:33, ETG was coming up. And that was coming up as Earth, Terra, and Gaia, the ETG, at 3:33. So ethyl glucuronide came up, which is a testing for alcohol levels. And then ETG came up, which is Eaton Vance Tax Advantage GLOB, which was priced at $19.19 today. So the alignment with the energetic exchange of the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, and that third energy of the arc with Metatron's magnetic service. The 3D Earth traveling to 4D Terra, the bridge, the 4D bridge, expanding Plymouth Rock to the mighty Sentinels and the weight of the world, the Rock of Gibraltar, which is England, and Atlas and Hercules, which are Morocco and Spain, all originally belonged to someone else, just as in the Indians claim the U.S. before we showed up at the U.S. at Plymouth Rock. The aligning in the energetic exchange with Mother Earth and Father Atlas receiving help to board from angels Big Bird and Eagle. The Eagle has landed. The Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, arcing from here to there. The rainbow bridge always open, and the 5D is on the other side. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. All aboard at 3:44, as I started this at 3:33 to 3:44, which Ryan is always talking about, that we're moving from 33% of using our DNA to 44% at least. And at 3:46, which is the Empress and the children hugging each other, all aboard and there's room for all. That she is the sphere and he is her mapping, her grid, calling all home to help with the kids, to cruise right along. So the underlying energy is heat and ice and shower with light, or heal and ice rather. Maybe heat need to come up there too. Heal and ice and shower with light. The King of Cups needs to look up at the electromagnetic grid and take steps to flower and pollinate. Call the mother and call the world. The Page of Cups is evolving to the inner child, wanting to go to the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Six of Cups to find out who they really are. Paying forward to the trumpeters, the Mother Earth and the Father Atlas. So this is the children coming to the parents, wanting to get on board. The freedom to travel from the heart on the whispering bench, one-to-one, going with the flow, with the Queen of Swords Big Bird and their little star, to conquer their fears starting today, while the eagle who has landed, the King of Swords, holds the door open for them. The shaman red root of the safety and security of that route, and the suffering and silence, and the truth of Plymouth Rock and Thanksgiving, and a new high vibration dawn. Welcome back to the Valley of the Sun, letting go of control, time for release from winter to fall. Heart healing with the Knight of Cups and green, which is of the heart chakra, between the Emperor and the Knight of Cups by Christmas or else at 3:58, which is the Empress and the Four of Swords of the 5D connection between. So again, you're getting a little bit of a threat from God here. So again, from the shaman red root of suffering and silence and safety and security and needing the truth of the Plymouth Rock and Thanksgiving, to that new high vibe dawn that we're in, welcoming you back to the Valley of the Sun, letting go of control, time for release from winter now to the fall, is time for heart healing with the Knight of Cups and their green heart between the Emperor and the Knight of Cups, to heal that wound between the Emperor and the Knight by Christmas or else. Don't deluge yourself. Remember the truth of the high vibe Emperor and the Knight of Cups, their heart. That literally the Knight of Cups is the Emperor's heart, but he's forgotten all that. And then right at 4 o'clock, which is the 4 of the Emperor again, and a lot of source backing them up, the Phoenix rising to the pearly gates through the root of the matter and the heart of the man. So very profound read today. Now we go back to the message on the table. So here is the twin flame read for everybody. This is all the general energies. That's the main read of the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then the 7 deck read that you see on the table. Okay. So this one, and by the way, I watched the movie Against the Ice last night, which is, you know, it's really amazing to see people survive that way for years and come out alive. So it's a really amazing movie. If you want to watch it, it's a good movie to watch. But that's the energy that was coming up last night. And that was Ignar Mikkelsen and Iva Iverson were the 2 real people who were in that story. But the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 10:09 to 10. So going from the 9 of endings into the 10 of the new beginnings, and then 2 10s of that high vibration times 2, the 2 wheels to get things going on the chariot. And then at 10:19, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune and the 19 of the Sun, chalices came up, being of heart and emotion, and then ES as well, which for me is the S of Sophia and the Divine Feminine. At 10:35 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Wounded Warrior, is when I finished clarifying the read with the Shadow, which is the Devil, the Chariot, the Abundance, which is the Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel. Before the read, the Tower came up, and the Tower's upright today. In the read were the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Swords, and the 9 of Swords in the read. Before the read was the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. And after the read, the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands, which aren't court cards, but they definitely represent people, the Sovereign and the Wounded Warrior. The numbers, we had 999s this time. So lots of compassion needed right here, which is because it's all about endings and completion points. And the 27, which is that third energy, it's the collective conscious, the collective as well, in the 9. And the Hermit going within. So it's the 1 and the all. And the 7, 8, 9 of the 5D and the 4 of the Emperor were the most significant there. And then we also have the 34 of the 8 of Wands, the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the 67 of the Knight of Cups, loyal, humble servant, and that 9, 10 begin again and again and again, every time you expand from your heart to come back to center again. The code line was all about manifestation, and the number was 7, very profound. And the 7 is the Chariot, the feminine within the masculine, in the chariot ascending. And the messages came out like this: to the nth degree, a time out for Sophia to clear the ice, which was also coming up as the life essence, the sap, or the society. The Knight of Wands with a case to pierce the well-off manifestation. The one of the words that came up was CEI, which is the whale as well. The whale, the sea pollock, the sea, the pollock, to be, poetry, and poem. So all of that kind of energy was coming up. The poetry of the sea. And to the nth degree, having a time out for this in the Sophia energy of the feminine to clear the ice as we end winter here. And the Knight of Wands, who's very fiery and hot, with a case or something to hold, to perhaps break that ice or pierce with an axe, with an ice pick, a well-off manifestation to get through to it. It was also coming up as the throne of the seas, the wise ice society, which there's a lot of messages around that coming from the movie I watched last night. The throne of the seas, you know, of the whales and the polar bears that live there, and the wise ice society, right? Those who have survived that. The Knight of Wands and their Holy Grail is the spirits connecting with me. The able and the rich, right? Where only the rich fear to tread, right? Because you have to have money to go there. Very interesting. And why would someone want to do that, right? When they can be home and be comfortable. So the shadow or the devil card was the first card in the underlying energy. And beneath that, so let me clear that screen for you. So here's that underlying energy, the bottom card here, with the mini cards on top. So underneath the shadow was the Three of Pentacles upright, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Cups reversed, the Page of Swords upright, and the Six of Cups upright, which is, again, is more child energy. The workplace with great loss, with family dysfunction, the Page of Cups reversed, vulnerable, and the Page of Wands offering love in a very cold place. The shadow and rising above, unable to sleep, and reaping rewards of being uncomfortable in your emotions, of the angel being patient in a higher love, of the magician's manifestation, becoming too much of a burden. The Queen of Swords upright and the Knight of Cups, loving her, bleeding out in a losing battle of destiny that's uncomfortable about a new passion, destined to study with the heat on, to inspire, schooling the goose about mountains that are too hard to overcome, staying in touch, friends for life, making history, challenging the devil, and making it out alive, to learn to appreciate others left behind, who are always there for you at 1150, which is Justice, and the Ten of Cups, which is making me want to cry. And the 50 is emotional fulfillment and justice of truth and balance. The Queen of Swords speaking about the sudden events, epiphanies, and sexual exchange, or that quantum energy exchange, of living and dying by the swords, and suffering in silence, in words, coming out the Knight of Pentacles, humble loyal servant, with a warm bed and a roof, and grieving 9/11, and honoring first responders here as well. With separation here, and beneath it, the unrequited love. The Six of Cups longing for socks in the tree again, something they may have complained about, or he praying for kind judgment, or that they'll be kind when they release his sentence, or a minimal sentence of doing time, or needing to swallow their pride. At night, offering time, money, and energy to the Queen of Wands reversed, as the lobster finds their pearl. As a fifth wheel, the stage is set for take one, a home run with the Queen of Wands reversed, no longer undressing after seeing reflection in another at the altar, or just wanting to be held, longing for men to step up to the plate, to double date and perform their husbandly duties with pride, and beneath that, the love partnership. At 12:01, as the day turns, the 12 of the Hanging Man and the 1 of the Magician embodiment, and the Queen of Wands reversed, out of control, in need of detox, and the Page of Pentacles, who's weak and insecure, or out of control ego and manipulative, coming together, with the Hierophant or Taurus, and Capricorn and Leo, and Gemini and Virgo, all reversed, along with Taurus upright, or the Magician reversed, stalking girls who are partying at church, or the Magician reversed is the religious leader, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and coming up as a predator here. A penny for your thoughts, little ones, and a glass or two of wine is all it takes to manipulate, or the devil incarnate, or a couple of scam artists, or great evil could be here. Perhaps a sexy woman and a child she uses as an in to kitty partners or kitty parties, and that could be someone who just uses their child, right, to make money, to get them into certain groups or societies that they may be able to get money from. And then 12:11 is the Hanging Man and the 11 of Justice of the Hierophant Devil, or Taurus and Capricorn, receiving passionate offer from the Knight of Pentacles upright, serving the Queen of Wands reversed and her pride, or perhaps the Knight of Pentacles here sold their soul to the devil, because the Queen of Wands reversed could be that egomaniac or Leo child out of control, you know, kind of seen as that devil child. So we have destiny of disconnect and distance here, perhaps feeling nearly dead and buried, and then the truth is out. As Nat shows up, and unforgettable, the truth is out. Looking back at all that was given or shared and blocked by a large burden, or now broke with the weight of the world and the Page of Pentacles opportunity or invitation by the Hierophant's death, or the Hierophant upright and the Dark Knight meets the Hermit, Queen of Pentacles, or Taurus, Scorpio, and Virgo, between the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles connected to depression of war, or facing their worst fears of the tower exploding at night, or having an epiphany or sexual exchange with Cancer or Aquarius reversed, Scorpio, and Cancer upright here. At 1224, the Hanging Man and the Queen of Wands. In the recent past is the Seven of Wands reversed, defenseless to heartbreak, and the Knight of Cups upright offering love to the Queen of Pentacles, drained by the Knight of Swords coming in on behalf of the King of Cups reversed, tempted by the devil, or the King of Cups reversed refusing to grant a favor, to a sister perhaps, or suffering in silence with the King of Wands reversed, hanging out or hung out to dry, seeing synchronicities or too many options at work, with the foundation of the Queen of Wands reversed in death and ending, with the Sovereign reversed, needing to swallow their pride, needing courage to stop work and release them. The Queen of Wands reversed and the Dark Knight, and that she could be in Dark Knight and powerless, or they could be two separate people. The Queen of Wands reversed and the Dark Knight powerless, holding back an announcement, weak or sick and unable to work or released. And the central energy of the Chariot reversed, broke or broken or stuck or unable to travel. The Devil or Capricorn offering a new life to Cancer, knocked them for a loop in a split or a lie and released. The challenge being the Knight of Wands upright, under the radar, receiving help from the Knight of Pentacles, destined lovers perhaps, with Libra and Gemini, or Justice and the Hierophant and the Hermit, or Libra, Taurus, and Virgo, sharing the Page of Pentacles child, student, or opportunity here. As at 125, the Magician and the Knight of Wands, the Page of Pentacles hurting themselves, for passion from Hermit, the Fool free to leap, to manifest, or be the Magician, be patient, and the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, their world upside down, with the Page of Cups reversed, vulnerable and coming together with Justice and or Libra here. And now crowning is the abundance of the Empress upright, and the reunion with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction or loss. Present to the Ace of Cups upright, that big love, the Holy Grail of the Knight of Wands reversed, player, falling short or paralyzed by their passions. With Taurus, marriage, religion, or establishment, and needing their intuitive side or their secret passion to hang out and see a new perspective, or present to the fact that they left the High Priestess reverse hung out to dry, with the Empress upright and the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles here, or a mother and their children, or perhaps 3 generations, free from surrendering to the King of Pentacles reversed, grounding and integrating with the King of Wands reversed, who may be bored with the Page of Wands reversed and 2 lovers, or the Page of Wands reversed, dumping on lovers. That could be that devil child energy, dumping on the lovers or pushing their buttons, or overwhelming and purging the Queen of Pentacles with the King of Wands, who's reversed, lovers, for Justice to find peace away and connect with the King of Pentacles reversed at home or in union. And the King of Pentacles reversed can just be someone ungrounded or having a bad day, up to very bad, where it's someone who doesn't care about anything but money. So he could be dealing with a loss as well. But finding peace away to connect with the King of Pentacles reversed at home or in union, with the High Priestess reversed or secret passion, leaning on the truth. Here we have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles who's reversed, with the Empress upright or a mother, and the Page of Pentacles upright hurting themselves. The Hermit is forced to push more projects or passion on them due to the King of Wands reverse freeing themselves with 2 lovers, or the King of Wands reverse has a kid who's the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, who are really acting up or mimicking their behavior. The King of Pentacles reversed doesn't want them around anymore, or because they're pushing their buttons. And this could be two, right? Maybe one brother hired their two kids, you know, because they're niece and nephew or nephews or nieces, but can't take it anymore because they don't behave the way their own kids behave. So it can be that at work or home, whatever the situation is. The King of Pentacles doesn't want them around anymore because they're pushing his buttons and then going on vacation or just leaving whenever they feel like it. The King of Wands reversed, lovers with sweet justice, and the King of Pentacles reversed with community at home or in union with secret passion and leaning on the truth or with a message to bring. The Queen of Wands reversed is stuck or blocked or broken, getting over the loss or regret to find self-satisfaction being alone without the King of Wands reversed, in a losing battle with the Page of Swords who's stepping it up with information stolen from the Queen of Cups reversed, or that the Page of Swords lied to him about having done what the Queen of Cups reversed said they did. And soon here is the great wheel of destiny, the high vibe of the divine lovers. And there's beautiful energy right here. The connected to justice, the Hierophant and the Hermit, or Libra, Taurus, and Virgo, destined to be lovers, receiving an offer of passion and growth and creativity from the Six of Cups, loving children, whether that's inner or outer. Letting go to repair, fix, or make amends. The Page of Cups reversed is vulnerable to rejection by the enemy, the one on guard, facing their worst fears of going to war with the devil, who doesn't care how they feel. Only self-satisfaction and dropping the ball and the facade in order to break patterns like control and entitlement that don't serve them anymore. As the Page of Cups reversed faces the devil and justice, or Capricorn and Libra, or going to court to face a judge who has no natural affections for them and they can't get away with what they usually would. They can't manipulate their way out. With the Hermit, the Fool, the Magician, and the Angel, or the Virgo, Aries, Gemini, and Sag, an unhappy family with Pisces, Page of Cups reversed coming together with Justice, Libra, or Court, or Justice of the Peace, and not telling the family about it. This could be a young person getting married without the knowledge of their family. They could be underage as well. At 11:35, which is Justice and the Wounded Warrior, the twin flames seeing themselves as the King of Swords upright, defenseless to the Emperor upright, or the energies and feeling ganged up on and depressed by the world upside down, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or that Pisces reversed, and looking back at the Emperor upright and the Knight of Wands upright, closing in fast on the vulnerable world, Pisces reversed, or Divine Feminine in 5D, to scoop them right up and add them to their possessions at 11:37, which is Justice and the King of Cups. Defensive, depressed, and living in the past, while the Emperor takes advantage of the world knocked for a loop by causing issues and then rushing in to save them as the perpetrator and the hero, both unhappy to have victims around. At 11:39, Justice and the Knight of Cups. Romantic feelings, reconciliation, and free yourself here, as well as chemistry and express your love for the twin flames at 11:40 then, which is then the Page of Cups again, and the Knight of Cups here. And the Knight of Cups is upright, though, I believe, in this read. So the Knights around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. The King of Swords overworking or not working out, with those out in the cold or left behind, injured or ill, or lovers out in the cold, without any options but to end the pain or be massaged by the King of Swords upright, giving them clarity or new information. Or perhaps off work to go skiing and someone got hurt, with no choice but to learn from their experience. Or the King of Swords with the truth and integrity of being alone, not working out because they see themselves as above those they help, who were betrayed by the King of Swords. They left with no options but to feel their betrayal, and the King of Swords seeing them as a pain in the ass, with information coming in and knocking them for a loop, but then receiving clarity. And yet the truth and clarity is good coming in, but then it knocks them off balance at the same time, which they don't like. At 11:47, which is Justice and the Seven of Cups, of having lots of choices or options or synchronicities being seen, having to admit they're not perfect. And the King of Swords is about that perfection. They don't like to be seen as not perfect, which is their actual weakness, because nothing is perfect, and that's not what we should be striving towards. The block here is the Nine of Swords, hiding in the woods, with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or lack of happiness in a heated exchange, or lots of petty arguments with the Empress, or unhappy family, heavily guarded, and not telling the Empress their true feelings, causing delay after delay, as the challenge is the Knight of Wands rushing in to save the day, only to play hide and seek. As they worry, the worry is that they'd hide from them, the sister, or the suffering in silence, and letting the Ten of Cups reversed and the Empress upright work it out amongst themselves, as opposed to getting involved. With manifestation, but even more so here for the twins, the green environment and the communication that is needed. With the Page of Cups reversed and the Devil with castrated, the Devil feeling castrated by marking their territory, again, ownership here, with the Page of Cups reversed, or the Devil child, or Pisces reversed and Capricorn upright, with the Page of Swords leaning on the truth, and both wishing on a star, seeing synchronicities in heaven in their eyes, under the radar feeling a failure, or needing attention, or doing attention-seeking behavior. As the Page of Pentacles is curious and satisfied with themselves that the Queen of Wands reversed is broke, or broke down, broke up, broke through, broke in, or broke out, getting over the Page of Cups reversed is message, or the Page of Swords is vulnerability or entitlement, and the King of Wands reversed losing battle with the Page of Swords lying, cheating, and stealing from the Queen of Cups reversed, or messages stolen or taken from the Queen of Cups reversed here. And this is someone saying, like, it's like taken from a baby. The Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed, saying that taking from the Queen of Cups reversed, Pisces, or one with child, taking advantage of one or both, a castrated man taking it out on the innocent, or Pisces reversed and another Pisces reversed, or a Cancer reversed, both offered passion, growth, and creativity to lover destined or in hopes of receiving affection in return, or offered to Libra and lover or destined Gemini, and the Ten of Cups reversed family was unhappy with the Divine Feminine 5D and the Page of Cups reversed were coming together with Justice, Court, or with Libra here. The Page of Pentacles upright and the Sovereign, who could be their sibling, reversed, along with the Wounded Warrior reversed and the Knight of Cups upright, suddenly coming together to work or create. Or the Page of Pentacles is curious after grounding and integrating their destiny and suffering in silence, and powerless to the Wounded Warrior surrendering to the Knight of Cups offer of love, or sudden offer of love here at 1206, which is the Hanging Man and the Lovers. So the workplace, the school, church, gym, or place of co-creation of the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction or great loss, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Swords upright, Six of Cups, children, maybe they grew up together, or they're siblings, or lovers, but not seeing eye to eye with the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Swords upright. They love each other. Perhaps there's fond memories here as children or lovers past, or hanging out or having experienced the devil's abuse with the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Swords upright. Perhaps those were their parents, and it's interesting too because the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Swords upright was so much my parents who are no longer with us. But again, having experienced the devil's abuse with the Queen of Wands reversed, who's got a really bad temper, and the King of Swords upright, who's got expectations of perfection, to overwork or not working at all, to working out defenselessness, to attack and being broken, and challenged by the Knight of Wands, destined to suffer in silence and hide their true self, from the Empress upright, wishing for a Page of Pentacles kind of child, who's curious and dependent and will surrender and offer their love at her beck and call or sudden will. Of the mother wishing for her son to be that doctor or lawyer or professional who will surrender to her every whim, so that she can brag to her friends, at 1213, which is the Hanging Man and the transition of death, or the Empress who is bored with the Page of Pentacles and the Sovereign reversed children, surrendering to the Knight of Cups offer of love every time they say jump. The shadow side of the innocent children, defenseless to the establishment, the religion, the powers that be, the parents, the principal, who don't accept excuses. And then the Queen of Wands reversed, mother, broken due to her mother, the Empress upright, with all the control and the money. And the challenge being the Knight of Wands upright, a mother who disciplines or abuses the daughter and praises the son. The King of Swords destined to be that golden child, working nonstop and then without sleep, or hiding from more work to be given, or bored with the Empress wife or mother who controls their bank account and their dreams for her, the Page of Pentacles and the sovereign children, or bored has the kids to play with, and the Page of Pentacles powerless to surrender to the Knight of Cups, sudden offer of love to play with the mother who will pay their way or support their creations no matter what at 1221, which is, there's your completion point of 1221. So the Chariot reversed is in the middle of the read. The warpath of brokenness due to the shadow, and the challenge being the Knight of Wands passion and the Nine of Swords hiding and suffering in silence. The Empress's abundance and the King of Swords' piety, destined to ground and integrate the Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands upright children, or the Page of Pentacles upright and the Sovereign reversed children. The surrendering to the Knight of Cups of being love with sudden events, epiphanies, and the quantum energy of co-creation. And again, there's definitely two families here struggling that can represent the masculines and the feminines family, like in a separate way, because there's the King and Queen of Wands both reversed near the end of the read over here, with both the Page and the Knight of Wands reversed too. So problems with their children in that respect, but they're different kinds of issues. And then the other end of the scale can be the King of Pentacles reversed, with the Queen of Pentacles and the kids upright, because they get to go play and do whatever they want while he's slaving at work, right? So there's issues in that relationship. And then, of course, there's the other two energies coming up with the King of Swords right here. And the Queen of Swords, I believe, is upright here. Where were you? Yeah, so the Queen of Swords is upright right here, and the King of Swords is upright here as well. And the Page of Swords is upright, and I think the Knight was as well. But they're not in the same place, right? Whereas the other ones are coming up as families who are together already. And then the Cups energy too is all separate. And remember, the King of Cups started the other read again today, and the Queen of Cups is reversed. Where's the King? Yeah, the King of Cups is reversed too. But the Knight of Cups is upright. The Page of Cups is reversed. The Page of Cups was a bit of a star of this read, you know, in a not so great way. But again, the Chariot of War in the middle of the read, and then the challenge of the Knight of Wands here, and the Nine of Swords here. And yet the Empress is upright and the King of Swords is upright. And, you know, needing to ground and integrate these children going forward. But here's the fire sign children here. So there's literally the fire sign kids are couple over here, and then the earth sign kids are couple over there. So they were the more significant than the other two suits. And again, the shadow energy and the underlying energy of the devil, whether that's codependencies, whether it's someone stalking children, or the worst of the worst on our planet, right? It can represent all three levels of the individual, the family, the community, and then the world type of thing. So there is your messages for today. All right, let's go ahead and just pull a few cards. I want to pull an energy deck card. What is our takeaway today? Take a deep breath. For the twin flames. That wasn't it. Okay. All tied up. All right, so that's the King of Wands. And he's definitely reversed here at the end of the read with the Queen of Wands, separate. Right? Saying that they're all tied up, playing coy, making excuses. And then here is that sun energy of the one of the Magician, who's actually upright in this read. And this for me, this is the King of Wands reversed in a very negative aspect, being exposed. And then there's the Magician in the mirror. So the Magician energy here, as well as here on this card representing the old man, the 53 of the Knight of Swords here, with the messages of truth coming in. He's exposing him, the King of Wands. And this could be the Emperor, right? The Emperor's new clothes. He's woken up in the middle of the night. He's got the power, the Emperor. So he could be sending his Knight of Swords out with a message, or perhaps a PI, to investigate what the King of Wands has been doing, to expose what's going on. This could be also the father of the King of Wands, which can be the Emperor. Or it could be brothers as well, right? Or even the King of Wands could be the father, and the Knight of Swords, it doesn't look like the younger person, but I guess it could be. But anyway, there's some kind of exposure, and before we even started this read, there was that energy about the deluge, that, we were being threatened that if the Emperor doesn't make peace with the Knight of Cups, then the flood's going to come on. That you may be stranded, right? Not being able to get on the ark or the ship. And then there's that happy family of this card, except that the Ten of Cups is reversed in this read. And this happy family is associated with the Emperor, right? So there's a lack of support here, which is really funny, because I've been watching Versailles too, and the energy of Versailles is where he's feeling, like no one's supporting him anymore, and, he may be taken down. So it's kind of the Emperor losing his power in the throne, and either having to come together with the family and actually be concerned about what their thoughts are and their perspectives, or he may be taken down or taken out of office, so to speak. And right after that is the 6th chakra archangel Metatron, which is that Page of Cups, which is an awakened child here, who's been treated like a child who has issues because they weren't understood. So this is the energy between the Emperor and the child that they need to make peace with, right? The Emperor that wants control, and the indigo child who will not be controlled. Okay, and this can also be the Emperor's inner child. So it's very clear. It's about the Emperor and that Page of Cups, whether it's his inner child or an actual child he's dealing with. And then we have the man holding his heart and grieving as somebody else walks away, the 27 of that Ace of Wands. And again, taking that Metatron bridge with the 27 card. So again, someone's walking away. It looks like a feminine walking away from a masculine. And the bottom of the deck is victory. So that's for the twins, the 28 of the Two of Wands, the victory of peace, peace of the world. And again, the Caesar energy, which the Eyes of March is 315 coming up here. And then there's the caring connections of the two of a higher love and victory regarding this. So very interesting. And again, it brings up the issues with not only one set of children, but another set too, because we have the King of Wands as an older child coming up here, and then the Page of Cups as a younger child coming up with an issue with the father. And that King of Wands card can even be a feminine energy who acts like a boy. Maybe this father, this could be a father who always wanted a boy, and she's actually a girl. All right, so this could be someone needing to reconcile with their daughter who's actually always treated them like a son, so she's coming up as the King of Wands energy here. And maybe she just is more boyish than girlish, right? Or maybe she likes women and he was never okay with that, so that's something that she had to hide. There could be, a couple different scenarios there coming up. So let's see what the Journey of Love says here. But the Emperor's dealing with the Page of Cups and that cup energy, and there's the Wands energy going on. So the Pentacles energy didn't even come up with the energy cards. And that's the one where the mother and the children are fine off celebrating with each other, while the King of Pentacles reverse goes out on his own, which can represent then the energy of now the Emperor and the Page of Cups needing to work their own stuff out, because now he's by himself, and now he needs to work out things with his father or with his son after there's been a walking away already, right? So if there's a split and the mother's with the kids and the father's on his own, the father then needs to either work things out with his father or perhaps a brother or uncle or something like that before he's really cleared of the family issues they need to work on. So let's see what the journey of love has to say here. Okay, we have she loves, and this is that taking a risk card with the 61, which is typically the liar, cheater, thief type of card. But in this deck, obviously, it's not the same thing. This is about taking a risk to love yourself first for the feminine energy. And that's the feminine within both the masculine and the feminine. And then there's within nothing, there's everything. Again, the number 2 of the high priestess or the divine feminine, and the womb of Gaia as well. How many more cards want to come out here? All right, so there's 3 more cards that want to be seen. And then there's 2 after, I guess, to count. And then the bottom of the deck is Ethereal Touch. Again, the 27 of the Ace of Wands is coming up, that third energy, and being light as a feather. And beneath that is, again, the Pearl Threaded, that we're all connected by our wounds. The 38 of the Queen of Cups is coming up here. To be in that third energy, light as a feather, to let go of the wounds and keep it light. And then these 3 cards came up to be seen as well. The choice, it's always your choice. You can stay in the prison of the 62 and the 8 of Swords, or you can not stay in that prison. It's up to you. And the acceptance of all that is, that fairy tales are real, right? So here we have that beautiful enchanted forest, the truth that is heaven on earth, and accepting that truth, and that she is the moon, that she is complete, she is whole, she is pure, she is the moon, she is the 0 point field. It's just knowing your worth. And again, the coming together and having had someone having witnessed the coming together here. Releasing from prison and anxieties to accept the truth that she is the moon. And this is about the feminine taking a risk to love herself, both her and Mother Gaia. And then Father Atlas, as came up in the read. And you see how these 2 circles go perfectly together? It's always your choice to see this or see this. And then the truth. So the 2, right, his, hers, truth, and then the actual truth, that she is the moon. Okay. And there's 2 more cards. So how many cards was that altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards altogether. So 7's coming up as very significant, as December 7th came up, as well as 7 being significant to that month. And these are the other 2 cards, just in case you want to see. The 52 of the Queen of Swords, receiving the light, the ancient ones, and a legacy of light of the Christ energy. This is the Mary Magdalene and the Christ energies coming up in the current timeline. The legacy of light. And the 53 of the messenger of truth. The collector of the light and the messenger of truth. That's a masculine here. Both within the masculine and the feminine. So it's the feminine, holding on to knowing her worth and not wavering from that. Knowing his truth, her truth, his truth, and the actual truth. That she is the moon. She is the ancient one, the 52 of the Queen of Swords. And here's the masculine, and it's the Knight of Swords, legacy of light. And remember, this 53 came up here too, as the King of Swords, right? Who may have been the emperor, who now took his emperor clothes off and no longer is the emperor. Okay. So again, the emperor can be the son, and the King of Wands can be the father, right? If the son has more status than the father. So let's see what this one has to say for you. Number 61. 61, she loves. Something in the way she moves. Forgiveness is here for you now. Can you partake of it? Forgiveness for your own self, for the times you messed up, that you didn't love, you forgot to trust, and you tried to take over and decided against surrender. Forgiveness is here for you now for the times when you couldn't forgive another, even if you really tried and you really wanted to. She loves, she's here for you now. Open your heart to the angel goddess of forgiveness and let her fill your heart. Let her fill your heart. You are free. This oracle brings you a message from the divine. You are forgiven. You are worthy of forgiveness, and you are capable of great spiritual generosity in forgiving others. If there's a person you cannot forgive, you are really just not forgiving yourself, perhaps for being vulnerable, for not knowing better, or for not listening to your own intuition. It's time to let go and allow the forgiveness that the divine has for you to fill your heart. You are free now. You just need to realize it. The cherry blossom knows when to bloom each year and never questions whether its beauty is enough. There is peace in knowing you always bloom well, and yet man spends a lifetime in wonder. So again, and this was just coming up a little while ago too. Just, retesting you on your worthiness. Do you feel worthy? Or can someone come in and knock you down and make you feel unworthy? So really fine-tuning your worth and your worthiness. So remember your water, or I invite you to anyway, your water, your sleep, your rest, your joy, and your nature, and breathe as it turns 1:16. And rise and be love, you guys. Take a breath. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye, guys.